Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Brian. Hope you're doing well today. It's what's today? Wednesday, Wednesday, November 4th. Here just to run through breakout opportunities really quickly. It's going to be super short today because really there just simply aren't any that I'm looking at for the day. So let's jump into it real quickly. Election yesterday. All of the results aren't in yet. Probably midday today, we'll see what happens with the couple of the key swing states that are left. Overnight, a lot of money flowing into futures. Futures really pumped up, so we can see as futures moved up, money flowing out of the dollar. So weakening dollar over the course of the evening, coming into the new session here. U.S. session starting in about 8 minutes. So typically what we're watching for is divergence. We want to see which currencies are being heavily bought, which currencies are being heavily sold, and then pair those together and use that pairing combined with, having a look at our regular intraday movement, combining that with currencies that haven't moved a lot for the day, haven't exceeded their typical range yet, and using that as a breakout. So what we've got today is we've got nice divergence. We see the USD being heavily sold. So USD is a weakening currency. We've got a couple of things we could potentially pair against it, like the Canadian or the pound coming into the new session, right? Those both look good as potential pairings against the USD. However, what's keeping me away is the fact that pretty much really everything here on the screen, we've exceeded the typical ranges. So if we look at that pound versus the USD, for example, let's move 225 pips on an average of about 120, 125. If we look at the US versus the CAD, that's moved 204 pips on an average of about 85 to 90. So big movements over the course of last night into this morning, and now we come into the US session, and we have to weigh out the fact, do we want to try to continue and see if the dollar continues selling off? If it does, and that fits your risk tolerance, and you're okay with continuing a trend that's been existing, even though it's far exceeded its typical range, by all means, go for it. There's a nice divergence here on the chart. For me, I'm just going to step back and go, today's another day I don't trade. Yesterday, I put a trade on the pound CAD. It never keyed in. I didn't play both sides. I looked at the short on that, never keyed in, so just move on. So here's another day where we have, what looks like nice movement here on the currency strength index. We can see that we've got nice divergence. The dollar's really selling off, and that can certainly continue through the day. But there's still wild cards out there, depending on what happens with the election as these final states come in, results from the final states come in, that could change the dynamic. And so we're not really trading in a kind of a known market where there's still a lot of unknowns. It's almost like those red news events that are out there, right? So I'm gonna just stay on the sidelines. We'll pick it up tomorrow, see what comes after we get everything in, and see how the market digests.